Welcome to Life with Long COVID with me, Paul Clark. It's estimated that around 400 million people are suffering from the effects of what is now called Long COVID globally. There are probably many more people suffering but not able to articulate what is wrong with them. This podcast was started for one reason and one reason only: that those suffering will not feel like they're on their own. Hello and welcome to Life with Long COVID. My name is Paul Clark. I'm the host of this podcast, and whether you've joined us for the first time or you're a regular, a very warm welcome and thank you for listening. I'm joined, as I am sometimes, by my significant other. She's also a counsellor and she is adept at dealing with a husband who has long COVID. It's Rachel.
Hi everyone. Well, I'm learning. You are
learning. We're all learning on the job of this, Rachel. You're learning too. And this week's episode comes to you fresh from therapy. Not the therapy that Rachel does, the therapy called high dose oxygen therapy. And today I had my second appointment. I wrote about my first, so if you haven't read that, go to www.lifewithlongcovid.co.uk. But I'll give you a brief description now as well. Rachel accompanied me today for my second session. So if somebody new to those facilities, what was it like for you?
Well, it was like in a normal place, and you go in and there's a lovely, friendly receptionist, and then there's two oxygen tanks, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, like for a deep sea diver.
Yeah, so one's looks like a normal room, but one looks like a submarine. It's got portholes. But when you look inside, it's just got some chairs, about 6 chairs in it.
Yeah.
And then each participant of the oxygen therapy puts on a big face mask. And
that's the oxygen part. So I'm not going to give you the science behind high dose oxygen therapy because I'm not a scientist, and I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to explain exactly how it works. What I want to convey though is how it feels and whether it's worked for me. And basically, what I did today is I was breathing pure oxygen whilst going down to a depth of 16.5 feet, not too far down, and the whole chamber was pressurised.
But not literally. You weren't literally going down.
I did not see whales out of the portholes, no. So the chamber is pressurised to simulate that, and something about the pressurisation and the increase in oxygen that allows it to enter your body much more quickly than it would do normally. And in theory, it accelerates healing. It's good, I've been told, for all kinds of conditions. But there's been anecdotal evidence and a few small clusters of research projects which have suggested that it helps with things like fatigue that we get with long COVID, and particularly that kind of foggy brain that he says, trying to reach for words.
So how's it helped you, Paul? Because you've had 2 doses now, haven't you? You had 1 dose on Monday and then 1 on Friday.
Yes, and this was a Suffolk Oxygen Therapy, and they're based just outside Ipswich. And I had my first session very nervously on Monday. I stepped into the chamber with well, it's not just me. There were other newbies with me as well. We were all there for the first time, and I have to say, to start with, I was a little bit uncomfortable because the breathing is not. You don't breathe normally. You're kind of being pumped with oxygen, so you have to really take a deep breath and control your breathing, pushing that diaphragm out. And at start with, I was a bit claustrophobic, but after a while, I started to get into it and forget that I was even there. And in fact, when I left the chamber, I felt really clear-headed. You saw me, didn't you?
Yeah, you were like really pleased, and you said, I think the biggest thing you said was about the foggy brain. Like you said, it had really lifted.
Yeah, and I feel that again now. It was the first time in 4.5 years that I didn't have any brain fog whatsoever. I felt like a weight had been lifted. Do you know what I mean? And it was amazing, and it does affect your energy levels. I was more energetic.
Yeah, definitely, I felt that.
And I lasted till later in the evening. But do you know what the best thing about it was?
What?
is I got a really good night's sleep. I had not just hours but quality of sleep. I've got a little thing that measures sleep, and it was off the chart for deep sleep compared to what I normally would do. And it lasted that day, and it lasted Tuesday as well. But by Tuesday evening, I felt the fog beginning to descend again. And by Wednesday, I would say I was pretty much back to what was before. So here's the thing. I don't know, as I explore different depths, because 16.5 feet is the beginner depth. And I don't know whether when I explore depths or have it regularly, whether this will be lasting, make a lasting difference, or whether it will just make a difference for the few days after I've had it. Because to be honest, either way is fine. Obviously I'd rather have a lasting difference, but if it's only for a few days afterwards, that's still a win, right?
So you're wondering whether it's got like an accumulative effect?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
But I think after 2 doses you can't really tell.
Nowhere near. I just like to wonder ahead of everything. Yeah. So I had my second dose today. This day I was much more prepared. I had my laptop, I did some writing as I do, and the time just flew by. We were, at that pressure, I was oxygened up, and again I feel like the brain fog's lifted. I feel more energised. Mobility hasn't improved, but maybe that will come in time. I don't know. But so we'll see now how long this lasts for. I've deliberately booked the next session for a week's time, not a few days. So I want to see how I feel, and I'm recording and documenting this process every step of the way. Just so everyone knows. So if you want to go to www.lifewithlongcovid.co.uk, I'll write about it. I'll also, mention it on these episodes as well. But the people at the centre are really friendly. They ease you into it. All the staff are so lovely. Mark, the manager there, is lovely. He's been with me for the first 2 sessions, and at no point did I feel unsafe or too scared.
I guess it's a weird situation, that sense of feeling like you're going underwater.
Yes. Yeah, your ears pop like you're on an aircraft.
Yeah. Like
you're coming into land or taking off. And I suppose what it's really thinking to me is that I've had, more than 4 years now of feeling hopeful for the latest thing, like supplement-wise, and then being let down. Feeling hopeful for something else and then being let down. I'm at the stage now where I'm deeply cynical about any treatment, and that's not being dismissive of oxygen treatment. It's just because you go through this process so much with long COVID.
I suppose you just don't want to let your hopes rise too much, do you?
No way. And when I'm in there, like, first of all, one of the great things is that they actually recognise long COVID and deal with people with long COVID all the time, know the symptoms and everything else. So it's really nice to go and see people in the medical profession who get it. So that's novel and nice at the same time, because not all departments of the medical profession get it or even believe that it exists. But I'm trying to be healthily sceptic of it. So everything I'm doing, I'm thinking, I'm trying desperately not to hope that this is going to be a complete cure, or that this is going to change my life. Of course it might do, we don't know, but I don't want to rush too far ahead, because I'm afraid I'm going to let myself down.
But I guess what you're saying is so far so good, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah
I am. I didn't expect anything from the first dive, or whatever you call it. I wonder what you call it. First pump, first dive, first
session.
First session, yeah, that's probably better, says the counsellor. Yeah, I didn't expect anything from it. So the fact that I am very sceptical and actually felt really good afterwards is really good. Do you know what I mean? So, and I feel good again now. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and from my point of view, it's just like you got a little bit, not that you're not yourself, but there's a little bit of the old Paul back. That was less, when you say less foggy brained, it's like you were so on the ball kind of person. I mean, I'm a bit flappy anyway.
Bit fuzzy.
I can be flaky as my personality type, but you were so on the ball as a person when I first met you, and there was a bit of that came back.
No, I would appreciate you saying that. because I forget that person. I've largely forgotten that person. I know that I've got brain fog, but I can't remember until I've had these 2 doses of oxygen therapy. I'd forgotten that Paul existed. You know, and what would be lovely is if brain Paul would catch up with physical Paul, and I had these thoughts, and I was sharp like I used to be, and on it, and be able to do it as well. But actually, you know, my life has changed now, and I don't think I would rush around and do everything anymore anyway. You know, this pace of life which I've been forced to get into actually is not a bad thing to take each day as it goes.
Well, that's such an interesting point. So you're saying, you know, because a lot on this podcast is a lot about the difficulties you have, and that's what this this podcast is about, so that's fair enough. But what you're saying there is a real, like, there is some positives, because our world is so fast paced, isn't it? It's like, do this, and it's all about success and what success looks like, and you've kind of learn a different way to be successful, sort of, almost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or not even be success.
Or even redefine success. Yeah. And quality of life, you know, matters just as much as any success, if not more. Yeah. It does matter more. And I've changed as a person. You know, the last 4 years have changed me inside out. And I was reflecting on this as I came out of the chamber today. I think now I've got a bit of energy, probably at least until tomorrow. The old Paul and me would have been off.
Well, we would have been going on a day trip. We would have been going away for the weekend.
I would have booked it there and then.
Yeah.
Like, I've got some energy. Let's go. You know, and the temptation is just to rush in and do all those things.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. Like, I don't want to. The pattern of life that I've got is fine. I want to slow down and take each day as it comes and appreciate things for what they are. And therefore, if this treatment is successful and I get old Paul Brain back, and even if I get some of my mobility back, although the jury's still out on that one, I won't be the same as I was before. And I think that's a good thing. It's not always a positive thing, but it's a good thing as well.
This is a bit of a sidebar, but I took my great niece to a forest school yesterday, and I had these sort of slides of wood. So you chop up a log, a thin log, and then you can draw on them. And then we were making a hole, and I was using like a old fashioned school screwdriver.
You obviously know a lot about it.
I don't know anything about it. Like manual.
Like a screwdriver.
Oh, shut up. But it was like manual. I was just thinking, like, before we had electricity, before we had, you know, like, people had to take time in doing things. Like, things genuinely took time. And I know there was lots of bad things about that. Like, some people were stuck in, you know, like, for instance, domestic duties took like all week, all day, every day for the whole week. And now we can like chuck clothes in a washing machine. So they're the good things. But just that sort of sitting there, whittling away.
What did you make?
I was just making a hole for my niece.
But it was for something, right? It was probably like
she was making a thing,
a badge or something.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we like the Paul of old would have said, "What's the point in making it? You can just go and buy one,
or just get an electric drill and go zzz,
too
done."
Right. I've got electric screwdriver, I've got electric drill, I've got everything. But you're right. But what about the journey of making it?
Yeah. Yes, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Actually, thank you. It's the journey of making.
It's a journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's value in making it.
The process of it, and in counselling we talk a lot about the process. So yeah, it's about creativity. It's not just about getting it done, and like you're talking about success, it's not about what you achieve, it's what you're doing.
And just being, even in the tank today, I was thinking, well, I'm just going to enjoy being in the tank. Like, it's not just therapy with an end result that hopefully I'll feel a bit better. When you're in the tank, there's so much to see and think about and look about and talk to people, and when you haven't got a mask on. And that's the thing. I think what it's really brought home is how much I appreciate the journey so much more than the result these days. And even coming round full circle, even if this therapy doesn't help at all, I'll have enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, so it's appreciating the being and the journey rather than the result.
Yeah,
I think that's
absolutely that. Yeah,
so important.
yeah, it is. It's the being, the journey, everything, and that's how I've changed. You know, I would have done that therapy before. Obviously, I would have needed it before, but old Paul, if he had to have done that, I'd have been probably working in there or making something, ordering something, probably not making. I didn't used to make stuff. And there's, don't get me wrong, I miss some aspects of old Paul, but as you know, when I get this short zap of energy that I've had so far, it forces you to think, what do I want to do then? Do I want to go back and do that, or how do I want to be from now on?
And I do think, like, sometimes excuse me, learning about being is understanding that sitting in your garden, appreciating the flowers, or even if you haven't got a garden, like sitting on your, looking out the window, drinking a cup of tea and just appreciating being, that has value.
And yeah, I'll tell you what else struck, this is related. I had an email from a lovely lady called Vivian, who's in Canada. So hello, Vivian, if you're listening. But she was listening to my last episode, which was pretty downbeat. I was pretty down that day. And I was talking about, the boredom of chronic illness, of just sitting there. And she wrote me a lovely email and said that what she does is does some knitting while she's sitting there, because it's something she can do. And she said she used to knit complicated lace things, but now she can't do that because she's got so much fatigue, but she can knit simple things, and it's something to do. And I thought, do you know what, you're right, there's always something you can do, isn't there? Like something that makes you feel like you're achieving something. Do you know what I mean? Something that...
Well, I would disagree with you, actually, Paul. It's not even achieving something, right, isn't it? Because there's something about knitting that's very meditative.
It's the doing again, isn't it? It's like your badge you're making yesterday.
Yeah. It's not yeah. But it's not, yeah.
Tell me, you seem hesitant.
It's not because you're still putting it into, well, at least she can do something.
Yeah.
But I would say it's not in the... She is doing something, that is true, but it's not in the doing. Well, maybe she can tell us who's right, but it's the process of just, like it's like a meditation. I guess a meditation is doing something, but it's not about the success of it or the result.
I called it knitting in endurance. She's it's a whole different quality and skill of life. And she's appreciating what she's doing more because it takes so much out of her to do it. So you have to appreciate each stitch.
Each stitch is beautiful, yeah.
Love that.
It's like a metaphor for life, that is.
That really is, yeah. Each stitch is beautiful. So yeah, I've had a few emails like along those lines lately, and I really appreciate them. Thank you. If you've got any comments, maybe you've had this same kind of therapy. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your experiences. Maybe you're interested in doing it. If so, keep tabs on my writing and my podcast episodes, because amongst other things, I'll keep you updated on how I get on. As I said, you just go to www.lifelongcovid.co.uk. You can sign up to receive notification every time I post either an article or an episode. You can get podcast episodes wherever you get podcasts as well. Where do you get podcasts, right? You're a podcaster. Apple, Spotify, those kind of places. And the best part of Life of Long COVID is definitely the community, though. So if you get yourself to the website, it doesn't cost you anything. You can choose to donate a small amount of money to keep it running, but you don't have to. It's free, and it's about not feeling like you're on your own.
And what I will say is the joy Paul gets, especially on his down days, that he's got a comment. It's just...
So true.
I mean, I just love it when he gets comments, so thank you, guys.
Honestly, people don't realise that I get so much out of this.
But I'm guessing other people that are reading the comments are getting out of it, because it's just being able to say someone gets it.
Oh, exactly, yeah. And they write an email and say, thank you so much for this episode. It really resonated with me. And I'm like, you don't realise how much I get out of just reading that email. It's a circular thing. Together as a community, we gain so much out of this, and we're going to keep going until they find that cure. So great, thank you for joining me on this week's episode. I'll be back with another episode next Friday. I'll be updating the blog throughout the week, all kinds of socials. I'm so cool, it's unbelievable. You can tell I've just had oxygen therapy because I'm talking about 100 miles an hour, and I'm going to continue to do so until it wears out, much to Rachel's joy, I'm sure. So whatever you're doing this week, just remember to slow is not always a bad route. Try to do your metaphorical knitting one stitch at a time, whatever you're doing and however you're feeling. And I'll see you again soon.